to another edition of Wings Weekly. Jay Kleinknecht here, and of course, head coach Scott Langer joining me. Coach, before we jump into the games, I wanted to before I forget, to thank all the fans that made the trip over on the fan bus. It's awesome to see that kind of support. And of course, the Jensen family and Lori Stroh for providing the entire team with Chick-fil-A after the game there on in St. Cloud. That was very generous and much appreciated. Coach, we go back to earlier in the week. Last Tuesday, up in Minot, we start things out there with a 3-0 loss to Minot, and frankly, a game that just felt off in a lot of ways. I know we'll try to put things in short-term memory and put them behind us, but some brief thoughts on that matchup in Minot.
Yeah, you know, it was a game that our turnovers really hurt us. I mean, the goals they scored, it was pretty opportune, you know, where we turned the puck over pretty much right to them, and Sibes couldn't really get anything done. I mean, it was just tough for him, you know. So we didn't play our best game. Obviously, I thought we chased the game more than we forced them to chase the game, and you know, they played well. And there were some big time stops by their goalie where we had opportunities to maybe get back into that game, but it wasn't meant to be. It's just it just had a bad feeling to it, and the good thing is that we moved on and we got better throughout the week.
Yeah, well, like you said, all you can do is move on, and we go on to St. Cloud on Friday and turn things around for a 4-2 win on Friday. Some defensive breakdowns and some turnovers again, but overall a road win, and they're not easy to come by. Your thoughts on Friday's matchup?
Yeah, especially, I mean, it's you know, it's a game day travel, and you got to focus pretty quick once you get there. And I thought we wanted to work on our identity and get some pieces back into our game that kind of can slide during the course of a season, and definitely during a stretch of games where you're playing so often and very little preparation. So
sure.
You know, I thought defensively we were good. I thought Cybele was pretty good. I mean, their last goal was off one of our bodies and deflected into the net. But you know, offensively we were good. We spent good amount of time in the offensive zone and our creativity. And when you're being creative, you're going to have turnovers. But as long as the turnovers are in the right spot, you know, that's okay.
Right.
You start getting into the blue line turnovers. That's when teams like St. Cloud will counter with their transition game. But I thought offensively we were very good, and for the most part we didn't give a whole lot up.
Yeah, well, and we talked, you know, pregame that was one of the things that you wanted to do was, you know, defensively been strong throughout the year, and your defense has turned. Well transitioned into offense in a lot of situations, something you wanted to get back to doing. It seemed like it went well Friday, so even better on Saturday with a 4-1 win. And again, there were times where it felt like you were on a power play where, you know, you're camped out kind of in their zone. So again, offensively, pretty good day on Saturday.
Yeah, you know, we scored those goals going to the net, and you know, we focus on that because teams are really packing it against us right now, really making it tough for us to get to the priority areas, and that's okay, or as long as our guys are going to the net hard and finishing at the net, and we're gonna get our chances in tight when we do that. And
sure.
You look at Will Arquette's goal or Spencer Schneider's goal to get us going was a net drive that ended up in the back of the net. So our guys are focusing on getting to those tough areas to score goals, and we know that, you know, as you keep going on with our next whatever we have left, 11 games plus playoffs, goals are at a premium.
Yeah.
It's not easy to score at this time of the year. So I thought once we got going in that game on Saturday, we were really going, especially offensively.
Indeed. Well, and even as mentioned, you know, Arquette and Schneider's goal, Fraser another one. He's, you know, right there in the crease, being able to pick up a rebound and knock it in. So up front, in between the dots, like we've been talking about for a couple weeks now, that you guys have kind of been preaching, and that certainly came to fruition again. Let's see. Division is clinched. Three straight years, and playoffs are clinched. We talked about earlier this year, midway through roughly, about how it can be difficult to keep a team motivated. And now that these guys are seeing some of these, the results of their hard work and seeing these goals being accomplished, does it become more difficult, or does it become a little easier?
I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard anything in the locker room to even know that we've clinched anything.
Okay.
Guys aren't celebrating that, you know, and then, you know, you see every time that they seem to get in front of the camera and get asked questions, they have the right thing to say. They're looking win a Robertson Cup. And obviously for the franchise, it's a big deal that we get to win the division again. It's a very tough thing to do in a 56-game schedule, especially in this division that has such parity and depth. So it's great. I mean, I certainly am proud of that. But you know, we have some other bigger things that we're certainly striving for. But our guys aren't talking about it a whole lot, and I think that's good.
Yeah. You know, funny that you say that. I think I even heard some of the guys talking about not being done yet. You know, that there's still work to do, so to speak. So that's great to hear it. Right now in the standings, the Wings have 83 points, top of the division. As mentioned, clinched the playoff spot, clinched the division. Bismarck is in second with 55, Minot with 48 points, then the Wilderness with 39, Austin with 34, and St. Cloud with 31 after St. Cloud beat Minot yesterday 6-2. So still pretty tight at the bottom of the division. Bismarck comes to town, comes to the ODI Center this weekend, and a team that you haven't really seen much of personally. There's certainly video of them, but what does Bismarck bring to the table? Yeah,
they're a deep club. They got a lot of skill. They got a lot of Division I college committed players on that team, and I think they play good hockey. You know, they play honest, good hockey. They can score. They got that one big line that's absolutely dominating the division right now. And I think we're going to have to be our best. But this is a good time for it. You know, coming off our schedule at this time of the season, I think it's really good to see a team like Bismarck. And we seen them early. Obviously, the games were pretty tight against Bismarck, and we always seem to have good games. But you know, right now is a good test for us. And, you know, it's a possibility you're going to see them in the playoffs if you're fortunate enough. And we have to make sure that we set the tone this weekend. And I know Lane's going to have his guys going. They always do against us. So we're going to have a great week of practice, and we have to be ready for our top game come Friday.
Without a doubt. And a team that might be considered Wings' biggest rivalry over the years anyway. Maybe year to year it changes a little bit. But, and again, having not seen them for a while, maybe things settle down or the dust settles a little bit. But the two teams that generally don't really like each other very much. So we'll look forward to seeing all the fans out at the ODI Center as the Wings host the Bobcats this weekend, and all the details on that coming up in just a bit. Coach, I think that's about all I've got for you. I appreciate you coming on the show, though, and talking to us a little bit about the week that was.
Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it.
All right, folks, we'll be back with the second portion of Wings Weekly, and a player joining me coming up after this.
How you move matters. Avera Orthopedics helps you move freely and live life to the fullest with innovative treatment options customized to your bone, muscle, and joint needs. Whether you suffer from aches, breaks, tears, or dislocations, turn to the orthopedic team experienced in treating every body.
We continue on with the second portion of Wings Weekly, and as usual, player joining me, and this time it's Christian Abrams of Dallas, Texas. Christian, thanks for coming on the show.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
All right. Well, a week that's behind us now that was kind of weird with a Tuesday game and then an afternoon game on Saturday. As a player, before we jump into your journey getting here to Aberdeen and so on, I wanted to touch with what that's like to have an early week game and then to turn around, travel, and then have an afternoon game. You know, it's not something that, you know, kind of breaks up the routine a bit.
Yeah, it breaks up the routine a little bit, but it's not that bad because, you know, we have practice in between. You know, we have Wednesday off after we come back, and then Thursday practice. So it kind of gives us a little bit easier into practice, but it is a little weird having that week game. So
yeah. Well, and then on Saturday, I kept thinking how odd it was. You know, usually it's a 2 o'clock meal. You know, get ready for the game and so on. And this time it was a 12 o'clock meal. You know, get ready for a 4 o'clock game. Things just seemed a little off. And like Coach said, you know, it really came down to who was going to get their feet moving first, because both teams have to deal with that. It's not something for either team really. But you guys, of course, come away with a couple of wins there in St. Cloud. Let's jump back to the beginning. How does Christian get started skating? And I know you started last year with Amarillo, came to the Wings in September. What led you from your start, I guess? How'd you get to become a Wing?
So when I was younger, my dad, both my parents are from Toronto, so I guess that just kind of runs in my blood a little bit. But I started youth in Dallas, obviously, and then after Dallas, I came and went to Amarillo. I started there. And, you know, I had no idea where I was going to be after that. So, but I'm glad I got traded here. It's probably one of the best things that's happened to me, to be honest with you. It's a little bit farther from home, but, you know, they welcomed me with open arms, and, you know, I love it here. So being a wing is probably the best thing that's happened to me in the last 3 years.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I always have to ask people, because being from Aberdeen, what's it like for an outside looking in kind of perspective when you first come? I mean, you come from Dallas, Texas, and you come to Aberdeen, South Dakota, and you're like, okay, wait, I'm going where?
Yeah, it's a lot smaller town.
Sure.
You know, everyone knows everybody. That's how my dad grew up in Tottenham. It's a small town in Toronto. So I kind of know what it is like, both my parents being from small towns in Canada. So I kind of grew up knowing what it was going to be like. But seeing from the outside in, it's you know, I like it. It's a small town. It fits in with everybody very well. So
excellent. Well, I think it's awesome, you know, the way that because, you know, of this smaller kind of community that Aberdeen is, may not be as many options as for some people that other communities may have, but that kind of actually helps, because at least for the Wings, because it makes people really feel invested in the Aberdeen Wings and feel like they're part of something, you know, when they come cheer them on, you know, or when you cheer you guys on, you know, it really starts to feel like a family, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah, it makes them feel a part of the team. So
let's see. You, as I mentioned, you come to the Wings last year. The season ends in a weird way.
Yeah.
You know, talked to some of the other guys from last year about the way things just, you know, really abruptly ended. And you head home and you come back this year as a veteran. What's that been like? As you know, there different levels of leadership. Obviously, some guys with letters on their sweater and so on. But guys that have been here, you know not only the community, but you know what to expect from Coach Langer and so on. So have some of the new guys, and granted, we're getting a little long in the tooth when it comes to the season here, so almost like feels like everybody's a veteran at this point.
Yeah.
But at the beginning of the season, did they come to you with questions and that kind of thing?
It was just questions of like, oh, how should I be doing this? How should I be doing that? And I think, you know, that veteran leadership comes into presence when, you know, kids are having a bad practice. Hey, like, don't have that attitude. Like, you need to do this, do that. But I think everybody's, you know, done pretty well with. You know, being of the aspect of coming in and doing what their role, and everyone has a role, and everyone knows what to do. So, but yeah, I've had a couple guys come to me with questions just about how everything's going and, you know, what to expect from the coaches. But other than that, I think everyone's fit in pretty well. So,
I always kind of. I don't want to say I'm surprised, really, but it's noteworthy of how sometimes when guys come into the locker room, they know someone that's here already, or they skated with them before at another team or whatever, so they have an in, so to speak. Did you have any ins when you came to Aberdeen?
Last year, so a kid on my team in Amarillo, shout out to Nick Trella if you ever do watch this. He introduced me to Bonet last year, and me and him kind of hit it off pretty quick. Other than that, Bone was the only guy I knew coming in. So, but I adapted pretty quickly. I felt like, you know, everyone kind of just surrounded me really quickly, and then Cooper Haar and Riley Murphy became two of probably my closest friends. Shout out to you, clowns. You know, but yeah, they're some of my closest friends now, and then, you know, I got close with everybody else. So
excellent. Let's see, a couple of goofy questions coming your way here in a little bit, but I wanted to ask you about having played in Amarillo. That's something that, you know, other than obviously some trades here or there, not many times do I get an opportunity to talk to somebody who's played in another division for another team. What is it like? Would you say that the South is similar to the Central, or is the Central have a different sort of style to it? How do you compare them?
I would say that the South, you touch the puck, you're going to get hit.
Yeah.
They preach, you know, body, 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 and some of these teams in the Central don't preach that. Like, I think we're probably the closest team to a South team. That I would say, because Langer always preaches, you know, use the body, use your physicality. That's what our game is all about, and, you know, touching on pucks first. But I think the South, there is some skill guys, but, you know, everybody's a worker, and, you know, they use the body 24/7. So.
It's interesting. Obviously this year we didn't have that, but when we've had the showcase in years past, I've always enjoyed watching other teams play.
From divisions and stuff like that.
Because there is definitely a different style, a different way they go about doing things for sure, and different mentality even in some cases.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any hobbies or anything like that you do, or like to do like golfing, whatever, away from the rink?
Yeah, I would say I'm not the best golfer. I'm still trying to work on that, but yeah, golfing. Every now and then the guys get together and play basketball or wiffle ball. Just something that the whole team can be surrounded in and all participate in. So. Just something like that. I do like to play ping pong. There's only a couple guys that have beat me on the team, so we'll see.
Interesting. I'm a pretty good ping pong player myself.
We'll have to see.
All right. Let's see. Couple of goofy questions, as I mentioned.
Okay.
Here you go. Would you rather be able to read minds or see the future?
I think I overthink a little bit too much, so I'd like to, read minds probably. I don't think I'd like to see into the future. I just want to take it, day by day, hour by hour.
It would be a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
I think they both would be, actually, in a lot of senses. All right, here's one that's a little bit dark, okay? Would you rather know when you're going to die or how you're going to die?
Probably how. I don't want to know when, because then I would just overthink, like I said, but probably how, yeah. That's probably what I would do.
It's another tough one, because if you know how, you might actually have a little bit of insight as to when.
Before, yeah.
Because if you're like, well, if you know you die skiing, you're probably not 75, So it's kind of a, again, like I said, they're goofy questions.
Yeah.
Bismarck coming into town this weekend. As I talked with Coach Langer about a little bit there, for whatever reason, over the years, Bismarck seems like they've been a team that just, the Wings and Bismarck don't get along. I mean, they're just two teams that there's a rivalry for.
Yes.
And maybe it's not as much this year because we haven't seen much of them. But what's the buzz in the locker room? Is there a little bit of, some of the guys that haven't played them before or whatever, is there, oh boy, we got to get up for this one? Or what is it just business as usual? Yeah,
a lot of the veterans, I think we take it more seriously as, Bismarck comes in, because last year, we got a little bit of the feeling of, the guys are like a little bit more prepared for this because we don't like Bismarck. I don't know why, but, I heard Langer had a little fight with the other guy a couple years ago, so I think that's one of the reasons why, but I think you have to treat every game like a playoff game,
yeah.
So.
Well, they have been. I mean, they've been intense for a long time, and honestly, and I know that as far as Bismarck goes, they kind of consider Bismarck and Minot being a bigger rivalry than for us. For whatever reason it is that we've always kind of seen Bismarck, as a team that the crowd gets up for, the team gets up for. That's not to say that they don't for Austin or for St. Cloud or for Minot, because it's all kind of the same. And like Coach mentioned a little while ago, part of that is because there is so much parity in the Central Division. I mean, on any given night, one of these teams can win.
Yes.
And the Wilderness obviously showed that, and the St. Cloud showed that when they're maybe not, as far as the record goes, not sitting in the best position, but they were able to hand you guys a loss.
Yes.
So it really can be anybody, anytime. But how do you prepare for Bismarck as they get ready to come in this weekend?
I think it is like any other weekend. You just have to prepare the right way. Make sure you eat the right foods, drink a lot of water, hydrate, and just be mentally prepared going into the weekend. As we do have a home and home, which sucks. A lot of the guys don't like home and homes, but like I said, you just have to prepare the right way. Make sure you're mentally focused.
And I would think, and this is something else that I should say that I talked with Coach Langer about earlier, about taking care of your body, as you mentioned, because it is a long season.
Yes.
And this year longer than normal. I mean, normally we'd be playing in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
So that becomes really important too.
Yeah.
Being able to get enough sleep and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, make sure you stretch and roll out and just take care of your body the right way. So shout out to Owen Dubois for letting us use his Normatex. All the guys use them. We're always at his house. So. And shout out to my Ruby, Cade Nielsen. Love you, brother.
Anybody else you want to give a shout out to?
Mom, dad, girlfriend, everyone back home, everyone in Canada.
Everyone in Canada. Wow, that's a big shout out there.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I think that's about all I got for you here. But best of luck against the Bobcats coming up Friday.
Thank you.
Folks, Friday, the tickets that you'll need to use, again, because of the changes in schedule and stuff, things are a little bit jumbled up, but the tickets will be for January 16th's game. That should be the game ticket that will be scanned. It is season ticket appreciation night on Friday. Aberdeen Roncalli Cavaliers state champion basketball team will be honored on the ice at first in intermission. Looking forward to that. Player autographs in the lobby after the game. And then Saturday, April 7th at the Bismarck Bobcats, 7:15 puck drop. Watch all Wings away games at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Aberdeen or by logging on to hockeytv.com. Listen on 94.1 The Rock, hubcityradio.com, or The Rock app. Other important dates you need to mark your calendar for. Educator Appreciation Night is coming up Saturday, April 24th. Parents Weekend, May 14th and 15th. The awards banquet will be the following day, May 16th. You can get your tickets now at aberdeenwings.com. Playoff information coming soon. Doors open at 5:30 and the puck always drops at 7:15. Get your tickets now at tickets.aberdeenwings.com. $10 general admission tickets are also on sale now at any of the 4C Express locations in Aberdeen with additional purchase. Corporate night sponsorships are still available for home games throughout the 2020-2021 season and playoffs. Call Aaron at 605-380-5852 for more information. Don't forget, Wings Weekly is now a podcast. Find the audio for this season's episode on Spotify, Stitcher, or iHeartRadio. And for all the news and information on the Wings, visit aberdeenwings.com or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Once again, Christian Abrams, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that'll do it for this week's Wings Weekly.